So hi guys, good evening everyone. Welcome again to the episode 6 of Why Not series. The several graduates and professionals are looking to relocate to the other countries for education to gain the valuable work experience and bring it back to add on value to our country. One of country that has become a preferred designation for both higher learning, higher education as well as employment in Germany. So Germany has emerged as one of the leading locations for higher learning in STEM field, with several leading institutes located in the country. Today, there are several opportunities available for both students and professionals in Germany. Okay, I am pleased to introduce our guest speaker of the day, Honorable Mr. Raj VVN, who happens to good friend of mine. Already I told, he's a serial entrepreneur. He has a interested in the field of aerospace, automobile, mechanical, and IT, and is currently living in Germany. So he completed his postgraduate PG education in aerospace engineering in Germany. During this period, he accomplished a complex project in Indian Space Research Organization in Sriharikota Rocket Launch Station and supersonic and hydrosonic departments at German aerospace centers. So he have a vast knowledge in aerospace sectors, and he started his entrepreneurship journey at a young age, and is currently the director of the company located in Europe and India. So he found the Indo-Europe Synchronization, which is called a German Center for Advanced Studies, to incubate the technology learning at the undergraduate students level through collaboration with the world-class renowned research center. With cooperation as APS German European Center for Mechatronics, he is developing an ecosystem to boost the manufacturing sector in India through various academic research activities. So he is also president of European Center of Mechatronics, Germany, and he has launched the European cluster for mechatronics and manufacturing, a state-of-the-art research center for academy industry collaboration. So I think if I need to complete the Raj qualification, I think one more webinar is taken, I think. So I request Mr. Raj to take over the session. So hope you enjoy all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Armugam, for actually sharing nice lines about me. Okay, I don't give one more one more page to read about me, but so to all the participants, maybe you might be also wondering why these the different flags. I think you also will be understanding while I'm actually presenting today. So okay, without any delay, I'm jumping into my session today, and I'm excited. I hope you will be also excited in the session. Okay. Before starting, just a couple of sentences. I actually spoke in several panels and in several presentations across the world, but I always used to speak about Industry 4.0 and also the robotics and manufacturing segment of Germany, and also this adaptation to the Indian market. And I think this is the first time I am exclusively speaking about the futuristic opportunities in Germany for young Indians. So there is a reason actually what I'm trying to do is other than actually giving like what is happening in due to Corona and all, because we are already seeing in the Google and everywhere every time what is happening. But what are the practices we have started to overcome these situations? I would like to take like that as a case study, and I would like to present it that way. So all the participants, I mean, in the poster itself, Armugam actually made it very clear. So we are going to speak the topic today, like, how the opportunities towards Germany, the UG candidates, PG candidates, and also the people who are looking towards employment, and also what are the other options, something like that. So actually today in this session, I am not going to speak about the very general information, which is you already get in the Google and YouTubes and also several blogs and all. So of course, and also I'm not going to speak anything about Corona, how many cases and how it is impacting. Of course, I think we are already loaded with this kind of information on a daily basis. So one thing everybody should accept the current ambiguity into the real world. So ambiguity to acceptance is very much required now. And of course, rather than actually saying that we are unlucky, and also especially the students who are actually passing out this 2020, rather than actually worrying about why it is happening only to us, we did not finish our final year yet, and all these things. So just try to utilize the gap towards the humanitarian condition, like how our human relations can be improved, and also how we need to improve ourselves to achieve in the best goals in this current condition. So maybe if any phase or something need to happen, if we want to see in the education, generally it will take 1 decade. But COVID given an option like to change of shift in education in a 1 year, in fact in 3 months. So that is the reason actually I would like to speak in the insightful impact of COVID, how in happening in the higher education, and what is in the era of industry 4.0 everybody is speaking about, and also towards industry education 5.0, because our education should be always one step ahead than what is actually industry and we are practicing. That's why actually I try to put this words to talk about today's thing. Okay, I think Mr. Armugam already shared about my profile. So I'm actually talking from the experience of these multiple hats, actually what I'm having, being a founder of actually a couple of companies into the education, and actually being actually one institute from the university where we are offering, and where actually I was the president at Indian Affairs at one of the research center, which is 70 years old. What we are practicing as a virtual labs, we are already started almost 6 years back. So, for example, everybody is speaking now about the virtual labs and virtual education and all. We almost actually started this kind of the practice like a 6 years back, because in that time our idea is okay, the Indian market and Indian education system required to update to the global level to actually produce the solutions to the global level at in a local competitive pricing. This was the actually vision behind to start some kind of applied robotic control labs here. So this is given an opportunity for me also. The recently I am now the government representative as a National Occupancy Standard Committee in the Automation Skill Council of India, where we would like to create some kind of the courses, what is actually qualification packs and all, what our National Skill Development Corporation, NSDC, and their skill sector council every day speaking about. So with these experiences, actually the kind of practice what really we are implementing is actually we adopted one of the very well-known practice in from Baden-Württemberg state. One is actually one academic and industry cluster has been taken, how to create the innovation factories where the academic, which is the source of university, and actually further the economy, which is actually industry. So I always actually speak when I'm actually sharing my views about our initiations and all. There is only two bosses in the market. One is student or a learner who is actually taking the opportunity, who is actually choosing the opportunity. The second one is the industry, who is actually creating the opportunity. The person like me, the professors, the universities, and the governments, everybody is some kind of ecosystem to create a process and to create some kind of a system to understand the students or takers or providers. This is the things. That is the reason actually when we started initiative, we are really focused to create this kind of innovation factory activity. And so present actually we are in several locations in India. Actually we are producing our excellence in the multiple things. So further also in the similar way, in the process of bringing the international knowledge to the ground level, we are actually trying to do more level of activities in order to create the research cluster support to the industry, where we can actually uh, support the Indian industry and also German industry locally, how actually we can connect. And further, we are also creating some kind of linkages to the university, Indian European university cluster. The reason why the reason actually why we are having this slide is when actually student want to go to Germany or want to go to abroad in order to study something or in order to grab some information or to develop their knowledge. This is also some kind of the way back what we are actually giving to the country. So the academic platform or your actually peer colleagues and also the industries, you are all were not only supporting only the other countries knowledge, and not only supporting other countries companies with your knowledge, you're also giving back to your country, to developing some kind of the platforms. So when we are actually designing this, how actually we proceeded is we actually try to create some kind of the blended approach. So this kind of the blended approach given opportunity for the participants actually who are actually sailing with to closely work with Indian ecosystem. So for example, when you see this kind of triangular bridges, we try to actually do some kind of a practice where the industry and academia and the governmental bodies will be involving. So in this reason, whatever the practices we are actually producing or we are actually doing the activities with, in order to provide the opportunities for the Indian students. So there is also possibility to get a support from our existing ecosystem. So to develop from that point of time. So that is the reason actually, even though if we are have actually impacted with Corona and all, so what is happening is where actually we created this kind of a 360-degree model of ecosystem. So we try to penetrate in the market or maybe the student level very easily to actually make them to adopt to the changes and and actually them to take the changes and also adopt themselves to develop the other things with them. So what is happening here is similarly like Armugam, see how he easily actually supporting the student, the ecosystem what he created, the context actually what he created. In the similar way, this kind of the blended model is really important, because I think yesterday or day before yesterday I was listening to ASATE chairman talk, when actually he is talking the blended approach is actually changing its words. The blended approach actually changing its a dimension, because before the blended means okay, people used to take some kind of the virtual courses, and later actually they would like to come to the classrooms and maybe some locations where they are going to have some kind of like face-to-face interactions and face-to-face exchange of information, something like this. Now maybe this COVID also given a one more dimension, like how the blended way of learning is required. So these are like some of the inputs I would like to share in a couple of slides, how this new opportunities are changing a phase will be linked with in my next slides. So as I mentioned, this kind of a triangular approach actually given us the chances to see the 3D view of 3D view of all the necessities. Because when the student is looking at the problem, he will be looking in one perspective. If government is looking at the problem, they will be looking in one perspective. The universities and colleges looking at the problem, they will be actually looking in one's perspective. So in this way, what we have actually created is, before COVID itself, we created different platforms to solve the problem in a different levels. So whenever actually we are speaking about the government, of course, we always used to concentrate what are the policies and policy making people, and what are the decision making is required. What are the things we are concentrating? We will be actually offering to these governmental bodies. Even though now in the COVID conditions, when actually we are speaking with the governmental bodies, we are actually talking about how this not only NPTEL, what is the other online courses can actually provide to the students. And also, for example, one of the decision is taken by our CBSE board. So some of this actually the syllabus has been reduced. So which means nowadays students already exposed some kind of like they can actually go to the Google and actually they have some information in the friends. They're reading several books. Actually they're doing some kind of online courses, and several platforms are actually available. So in this way, whenever this kind of pandemic conditions are happening, it is very important to concentrate what is actually the more interesting and more focused areas to be defined. In this way, actually what we are trying to do is, whenever we are speaking with the universities and colleges, we're actually creating some kind of the customized collaboration, because nowadays, and especially this kind of pandemic conditions, collaboration is a key. Because everybody will be good at one thing, or maybe in a few things. If actually we can collaborate, if we can share some information, of course I don't want to share I don't want to ask companies to share the IP information of them, but actually asking on maybe governments and also the persons and companies, this is actually the time to share how the platform can be evolved with the student support and giving the support to the student. And one of the decision also taken by our honorable Prime Minister. So it is really great that they are supporting to develop some kind of apps, Indian made apps. So in this way, actually, we created this kind of a 3D view of necessities of a different segments in order to solve the problems. So we thought about this kind of things, and we are developing the nodal agencies for these kind of activities since very long time. But this Corona given an opportunity for us also to streamline. So as I'm actually speaking, by creating this kind of new models and new kind of approaches in the problem solving and all, I actually very happy to share you that recently folks also featured our activity. So in last 6 years, we are able to reach like a 5+ states across India, and also having a networking of 10+ countries, and 25+ German universities, the public universities and private universities, and also the research institutes actually we collaborated with, and 50+ robotic control labs as a cluster we have been established in India. So this is the kind of the blended and virtual learning we already adopted, or we already given to the our partner organization. And as of now, 75+ universities and academic partners across India also taking this thing. And this is a one more beauty, like whether actually, when we are studying our undergraduation, I'm also speaking about our next slides. One of the opportunity for student is we are not only going to study undergraduation in abroad, not only studying undergraduation in Germany, there is also opportunity to go and experience the technology for the shorter duration. So in this way, we are able to actually invite more than 500 students, to come to us to take some kind of, the works and all these things with us. And not only this, the more than 2,000 students now actually practicing our virtual way of activities. So why I am actually showcasing our activities here is, so this kind of a virtual learning and virtual labs, it is also one of the very creative opportunity nowadays what students can achieve. So not only sitting in actually, in front of our computer only looking some kind of the options, actually what we can do, we can also be able to achieve some of the options what international universities are providing, what international companies are providing. And this is a very good time to experience and also improve our activities, because the education is only to the uplifting the humanity. So that is the reason actually in this kind of the pandemic conditions, it is very, very important for us to focus how to improve and how to become a competitive and also in the most effective way. So with this background, actually, you will be knowing like some kind of a glimpse of activity, what we are doing and what we have achieved and what we actually try to adopt in the multiple segments in the decision maker level. So today's focus, actually what we are trying to do is how the opportunities things are happening in the engineering segment. So it can be like, undergraduation or like a specific set of the specialization. So you are already studying, for example, the Bachelor of Education in India. Maybe you're studying mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, or computer science engineering, or some courses like mechatronics, instrumentation, these kind of courses. So always like, try to improve and try to add an additional qualification. So this online teaching and online course methodologies is already giving one of the best things nowadays. Like students can do additional courses. So one side, you will be getting a chances to improve your design thinking, and adding your actually like, adding your solution strategies to, to solve that particular problem in education. But at the same time, you are actually having the broader perspective of the particular education, because whenever you are actually moving from your college level education to the industry or to the higher level of education, so it is always a broader view. So for example, if you are a mechanical engineering students, maybe you might need to code once you reach a industry, or maybe you will be going to have a like a more specified courses in masters while you are pursuing your higher education. Or again, yeah, when you are doing your masters, you are going more like, broader way, like when you are doing your master thesis or bachelor thesis, you might need to have a multiple knowledge. You might need to have a coding experience. You might not be expert in that. Maybe you will be expert in fundamentally, but there might be requirement of like, additional value adds to you in order to, make yourself competitive in the market. So that is the reason actually today we are like to focus like these 3 points, and where along with some examples of the practices actually what we are also doing. So before actually entering into the topic, first let's experience the country, what actually the thing about Germany and all for a couple of minutes before I proceed. So if you observe this 2 minutes video, actually given a glimpse of learning along with living. So such a fascinating country actually when you are actually studying, having equal life balance along with your studies. So Germany actually providing a great opportunity and great platform to actually study, to experience the cutting edge studies and also the technologies along with the very good life balance style. So when you see actually when you are actually reaching Germany, or when you are actually talking about Germany, so mainly there is like a two different universities. So German education system also, they actually concentrated one is like a theory based, one is more practical based. So it doesn't mean that actually the theory based universities are they're only doing theory. It is not like that, but they actually define that more like one towards the employment and job oriented, and second one is like more like research oriented from the concept level itself. So I will give it just example. So for example, being a mechanical engineer or automotive engineer, for example, if you want to study some kind of the flow analysis and all these kind of things, for example, maybe applied science university, we will try to use some kind of a advanced software what is available in the what companies are using nowadays in the market. We use that software and we produce the results. For example, ANSYS. So for example, what actually applied science universities do is they will actually analyze the solutions in the ANSYS, and actually they produce the result for that particular problem. what technical universities do is they're more focusing actually writing a code behind the answers, something like this. So in that way, one is more focused towards application oriented, and second is actually more focused towards the research oriented. Of course, Germany definitely a great country for higher education institutions, where actually you can enjoy one side the excellent reputation, and at the same time like a lowest tuition fees. So maybe I could say like all public universities, they're really offering like a completely funded courses. Many students actually, many universities, they always say that is a free education, but I would like to say the funded education. After actually living 1 year in Germany, and then actually talking about calling it as a free education is more like funded education. But even though if some of the universities actually they are having some kind of the fees, if you compare other countries, Germany is actually one of the most cost-effective country for the masters, and also more having a more transparency in education costs. So, for example, when you are actually having the visa itself, so the Germany will be actually revealing like maybe you might need to be having 750 to 800 euros per month for your expenses, something like that. So this actually given the unique opportunity, especially like a German like countries, to invite more number of very quality and competitive students to them. So actually in my presentation, what I try to do is I try to be more like the video presenting concepts, because actually as we are working, we are connecting through webinar. So if normally if we are connecting physically, then there will be like interactiveness. That is the reason actually I try to showcase more pictorially and more in a video manner. So before actually getting into the what UG and PG and employment based things are happening, I would like to show what exactly higher education scenario in Germany, and how actually it was evolved and actually it is taking to the shape.
Many young people from all over the world choose to study in Germany. 12% of all students come from abroad. So let's take a look at the German higher education system. In Germany, it's possible to study just about anything. There are over 18,000 different courses, including more than 1,800 international programs, most of which are conducted in English. With such a large range on offer, everybody finds their chosen subject. Also, when it comes to choosing a university or college, you have many options. There are around 400 state-accredited higher education institutions at around 180 different locations. Universities are strongly research-oriented and offer the widest range of subjects. They teach both theoretical knowledge and methodological expertise. Universities of applied sciences concentrate on the application of scientific knowledge and primarily teach professional practice. The range of subjects is focused on areas such as technology, business, social affairs, and media. Colleges of art and music train budding artists, musicians, directors, actors, and designers. Special artistic talent must be displayed in an entrance examination for these courses. A small number of courses are also offered at other specialized institutes. In Germany, there are public and private higher education institutions. More than 90% of students are enrolled in state-run universities and colleges. With such a vast choice, you're bound to find the course that's right for you. Let's talk about the various degree options. You can do a bachelor's degree, a master's, or gain a doctorate. In certain subjects, there are also other degrees, such as the Staatsexamen. However you decide, a degree from a German higher education institution will increase your chances for the future. The cost of living in Germany is moderate compared with other countries around the world, and there are no tuition fees at most higher education institutions. In Germany, you receive first-class education with degrees that are recognized worldwide, and you are also offered excellent support. Ideal conditions for studying a course that furthers your career, whether in your home country or in Germany. So, what are you waiting for? Discover your international side. Study in Germany.
Great. So this video actually given some kind of what are the different universities and different studies, and what is the percentages of actually the students are going to Germany. And as actually the video mentioned, like the 12% international student actually coming to all the German universities. And of course, the statistics of really increasing also the Indian students in Germany. And so it's almost doubled, tripled from, last one decade, the flow of Germany. And also, of course, there's many reasons. The number of English teaching courses also increasing, and also the awareness towards Germany also increasing, other than actually only going for US or UK or Australia. And also really students really looking forward to actually like a competitive study nature. So now actually, like, when I really want to address the undergraduation and what are the different practices we are taking in this pandemic condition, what is the opportunities for the students? I think all the students, in the participant, I don't expect the people who are just in a 12th, because it is a completely different topic. So because for undergraduation there are like, couple of different options. One is to come to Germany to study Bachelor of Education, or while you are doing your bachelor's in India, what is actually opportunities what you are having. So just one sentence towards, like, to come to Germany and to pursue your complete bachelor education. So our Indian students need to achieve one exam called Student Colleague. So it is like a foundation course, which is consisting of mathematics, physics, and the fundamental science subjects, and also the German language. Because most of the, maybe 99.9%, maybe 99% of bachelor courses will be offering in German language. Maybe I would like to refer, like, maybe maximum like technical bachelor courses, engineering bachelor courses will offer in German language. That is the reason Student Colleague is some kind of the key to enter into the bachelor courses in Germany. And there are like several companies nowadays in India. They are also offering this kind of a Student Colleague, some part of it in India and some part of it in Germany. But otherwise, there is like a very like state-owned schools in Germany where actually the student can join as a student colleagues. So this is a website actually, if anybody interested or you want to pass on to someone who has interest about to study bachelors in Germany. So other than bachelors in Germany, maybe some of our participants might be, they will be like, they're not at undergraduated, maybe they're at final year or second year, first year, something like that. What are the opportunities they will be having it? And so after this, actually, I would like to showcase also our practices and our adaptation, what we are doing. Maybe some of the faculties might be interested about this thing. So one thing is having some kind of a short glimpse of technology by coming to some kind of a study periods. So sometimes, like, maybe our finances might not support, maybe our college calendars might not support, and other things might not support. That is the reason, like, if you have a chance, like maybe summer schools and winter school concept, there's hundreds of German universities and hundreds of programs. Actually, they are inviting the students to come to Germany to experience some other technology. Maybe this is also one of the wonderful opportunity for a student, where they can decide where they can continue and they can actually spend their next years in their life in Germany or not. This is one topic. So if there is actually chance from the college, like, if they have actually some kind of a deemed universities, autonomous colleges, they're having some kind of a concept like semester exchange and year abroad. So which means that students actually can apply to German universities and they can actually study there almost 6 months to 1 year. So this will give a student to learn from the global universities. So they will be understanding what is the teaching and methodologies and learning practices there in our country, and what is actually the practices are there in Germany. So this kind of they can actually compare. So this also will give a student to, like, hands-on experience, because Germany is a country where this education system is more like a practical oriented, hands-on experience and application oriented, and applying the industry problems in the college level itself. So this will give a chance to chance to the student to understand more. So majority of the cases, this would need some kind of institute to institute summer cooperations. But even though if institute to institute cooperation is not there, so this is also possible for semester 1 year. They can come and they can apply to German universities or German companies to do their 6 months study and also doing some kind of internship in Germany. And of course, the second thing is some kind of a dual degree programs. A dual degree program is strictly, as of now, the universities are offering like more institute to institute based programs, where some time of the course it can be like a 2 years or 3 years in India, and 2 years or 1 year in Germany, something like that. So in those kind of situations, student is getting an opportunity to earn both the degrees. So they will be having the Indian bachelor degree and also they will be having a German bachelor degree. So for example, this is like, the first 4 options more like studying and experiencing and also doing some kind of work. So other than this, the students also can apply directly internships in Germany. So if you find some kind of internships in the companies and the internships in the universities, you can apply. So majority of the time, the internships also will be listed in the DIAD website, and where the students can see. Or because in Germany there is no particular like a placement agencies or something like that will come to universities and do it. Students actually will do by their own. So in a similar way, you can actually look into any university in Germany, any company in Germany. If there is a career option, if you can actually send application, they will reply. And or you can also come to the bachelor thesis in Germany and all. So of course, this corona conditions actually given a different perspective of actually coming to Germany and doing these kind of activities. This is the reason actually what we are actually trying to do is we're trying to do some kind of adaptation for this new kind of for new normal. How this blended learning approach and an online approach actually can be actually offered to the Indian students and Indian. So what we are doing is what our practices are, because you can also look at our practices. You can also look for similar kind of opportunities and similar kind of jobs in Germany. It will give just a perspective from our work. So it is same like doing by learning, something like that. So our perspective is, and also because of the corona, we are also what trying to do or trying to adopt here is bringing the unique framework where the multiple universities can collaborate, can offer. So in this way, like Indian student or Indian university, they really no need to, go to individual university to explore something. And also for this additional work, when or what they're doing in the PG, it should be also honored properly. So we are already having a one or two good opportunities like Indian education system, like UGC and AICTE is offering some kind of the honor degree. So if the student actually having some kind of a perspective of getting a honor degree, maybe they need to actually study more than 18 credits, like a 20 credit points. So if the students not only actually having like only one subject knowledge, you will be having one domain knowledge in this way. So in this way, you are able to get some kind of honors degree. And also what we are trying to do is the students actually who are enrolled with us, we are also trying to provide German diploma from there. And also we are actually speaking with German Indian skill missions, like how we can actually certify them from skill missions also. And maybe this point might be interesting if any faculties or colleges are actually in there participants. So we are actually doing some kind of a campus 100 concept, and where we are actually adopting these kind of the things. So when actually when you are actually dealing also with your students and your courses, when you are having this kind of network, of course this may be more suitable for the deemed universities and all. This might be more like helpful for them. So okay, we are actually talking about how this virtual learning and virtual things happening, and we did some kind of a benchmarking, like what is the change makers in the next generation. And also because maybe some of the like dog walks and some kind of works may be nullified. Already automation is industry 4.0, automation and robotics coming to the market. So already majority of the job market is affecting, but it's not only affecting, it is also creating a new avenues. So this is also right time when actually whenever we are having a time. So it is also to see what is actually the additional courses or subjects what we might need to focus. So this will give some kind of a chance for us to make ourselves compete in the market, and this is also some kind of like to create a broader perspective of opportunities what you are actually would like to take. So while we are imparting this kind of the virtual skills and virtual labs, so this kind of the German cluster which actually join hands, where actually achieving the credit points and certification, and also possibility to interlink some kind of bachelor thesis and all. So when the student actually looking some kind of a perspective towards actually learning some kind of virtual course, so I would like to suggest the student to have some kind of a sustainable view and sustainable understanding of the course what they're doing. Because if you are really having the sustainable understanding, like what you want to do in the next cycle, it will give domain expertise to you. So the first course to the third course or fourth course, so you will be like improving your competency expertise, which is actually the market needed. So which actually give a chance to the student to becoming a market ready at the end of the day. So similarly, so we are also thinking like because we are not talking about, we are not looking at students to coming to Germany in a bachelor level in this point of time. That was the reason what we are also doing is we are actually trying to bring down the technology also to India, to actually to adopt the first 3 years and come to final year in Germany, something like that. So this might be the point to the faculties who are actually in the audience. So maybe this kind of the practice will give a chance for them to give a global exposure to the students in the longer perspective. And also because nowadays, okay, we are talking about COVID in 2020, but we don't know the impact and effect of COVID for next days or next years. So this is the reason it's always good to have a larger perspective. Similarly, when actually we are actually moving some kind of master courses. So what German universities are nowadays doing is they're already imparting the online education methodologies. So if I actually talk more specific to the Indian students, of course, majority of the summer intake, because there is a 2 intakes in Germany. So one intake will be in a March and April, and second intake will be in September, October. So majority of universities, what they have done is they actually postpone the summer intake to winter. So the new semesters, many of the universities was not started, but they did not start a new semesters, but they're having existing semesters, I mean existing students. So German universities and actually the professors taken a very quick adaptation of this online teaching and online learning and everything. So already they already successful in running one semester completely online. So even now, what is happening is for the winter semester intake also, maybe they already extended deadlines. Like maybe some of the universities will be looking to start in November, and some of the universities are looking to start in the January, but the process will not stop. So whatever the COVID is there, Corona is there, of course, it's very important for us to being a safe and all. It's also important for us to utilize our time productively in a safer manner. So maybe once the borders and everything is open, I will address that thing in the later. So in that way, what they're trying to do is they're extending deadlines, and also they're doing some kind of preparatory courses. And I'm not actually again speaking in the air here. The practice what we are doing, our own master program, I'm actually showcasing here. So similarly, like our master program, many other programs also are doing in the similar fashion. So our next point is, so now we actually address like UG candidates what we can do it, and the master programs also the students, you absolutely can plan to come to Germany, and also you can actually already getting ready, and also if you are in the ambiguity of your final year, my exam was not finished and all, so there is a lot of changes in the deadlines already German universities have been adopted. Maybe if you're not ready to go to September, or maybe some of the universities are actually starting in the January. Actually, especially our course, we actually decided to start in the January, because the visa process and all, we want to make a little more smoother way. And the thing is, like in Germany also there is a very like specific conditions, like each person should have these many square feet, so which is already giving individual living, and actually everybody is living in like the students living in their own rooms and all, so which is already defining the social distancing, which is actually creating some kind of a safer platform. So I think I'm running out of time. So maybe I will try to finish in next 5 minutes. Then we can get into question and answer session. So next topic is actually, of course, we also need to address the employment and job search. So if you remember, I think in November 2019, German Chancellor they visited when she visited India along with a very big delegation. She announced that Indian engineers are welcome to Germany, and also there is more than a million engineers actually required. Of course, the Corona conditions will be affecting, but there is a new law already passed in the 1st of March in Germany. So the they have a more flexible and red carpet to the Indian quality engineers to Germany. So already there is a couple of opportunities are available directly from German government. So if you really want to come to search a job in Germany, to get a job into Germany, of course you can actually apply from India. Once you get a job, you can come there. Or actually, if you really want to come to Germany and to search a job there, you are getting some kind of job search visa for 6 months, so you physically can come there and actually approach some kind of industries there. So what is our practice and our adaptation? What we have done is, so what we try to do is we try to actually combine the opportunity of employment along with education. So because this is a pandemic condition, a lot of jobs are affected, new positions are not open. But why the participants need to idle in this time? Maybe if you really want to come to Germany and pursue your employment there, so maybe actually our executive programs, what we have defined is, you can actually start when you are in India itself. So that will give an opportunity for us and for you also to make actually to make yourself ready and also yourself adopt towards German market and to study this thing. So this kind of competency study methodology we have adopted when we are speaking about employment and job together program based models. So of course there is other important points. Of course this can be one more complete sessions. The travel restrictions are still there, and of course myself, I am here since last 4 months in India. So I just came here for my business trip, but actually after lockdown I was actually spending a little more time with family and other works here. Of the people who are having the German visas, now they are already traveling, and the student visas and short-term visas and 3 months and 6 months visas and all, as of now they are actually in a hold. So but I actually am hearing I heard something about there is some relaxations might come, because our Indian aviation minister already informed that they are actually resuming some flights to some countries. Germany also might follow very soon. So in this way, once these borders are open, then the student visas and student these things are also will be open. Of course, we can actually get all the information about this embassy, German embassy in India. And of course, we have a German embassy actually divided into 5 different states of India, 5 locations of India. For example, I believe the majority of the students might be Andhra Pradesh, Chennai and Telangana, and these locations. I think our respective embassy consulate will be in Chennai. So we are having in Bangalore, Kolkata, Mumbai, Delhi, and also now Pondicherry also having some kind of extension centers nowadays. So in this way, of course, the visa process will be they're having, every segment will be having a different documentation required, and along with that, so what I really would like to put it is, the competitive profile is really important of the candidate. It is not like, okay, we are going to one more abroad country or one more country. It is very important, and also concentrating on the very minute level of details. This, because Germans are good at precision. There is a reason, if you're really targeting and to achieve this kind of opportunities in Germany, it is very important to actually becoming a very competitive and also concentrating in very minute details and make yourself ready. So not only like Germany, I would like to show like just a 4-minute video on what is the other world's perspective nowadays on higher education. Mr. Armugam, can I proceed? Because already 5:50, or can I skip this video?
Yeah, no problem, no problem.
Okay, so just 4 minutes, then I'm just concluding.
Okay, sure.
It's an awful time in the world, but I think it's a really interesting time in education. We've never had a moment like this one where everyone at the same time has jumped into this technology.
The coronavirus is changing life as we know it on a daily basis. In COVID 2025, we'll explore how the pandemic is rewriting our future.
The ability to teach through the technology is really powerful. I can lecture, I can call on students, I can engage in Socratic dialogue. I can replicate what I can do in the classroom. Things that have been hard in the past, bringing in guest speakers, being in multiple campuses at once, the ability to tie those together in a much more seamless fashion, I think that's exciting. Distance shrinks in this medium. I think we're going to see it used throughout education in the United States, at the pre-college level, college, professional level. That's exciting across the planet. There's definitely been a trend towards remote learning. I think that's been unevenly distributed. This is going to give us a second set of tools. We've had one way of doing things, and now we're going to have an additional way of doing things. And I think that's what's exciting. It's just like you're a chef or something. All of a sudden, they've said, here's an entirely new set of ingredients you've never worked with. To really make this technology work and to do so on the widest possible basis, we need to have the physical infrastructure in place to do that. So I'm sure you've been reading stories about what's happening at the pre-college level, places where they'd like to do online education and they don't have internet. They don't have a device to do that. We frame that as a digital divide. I'm teaching a class right now where we're talking about Federal Communications Commission broadband policy. Broadband's so incredibly important. So had this happened 10 years ago, I think we wouldn't be doing anything like we are doing now. When we built this country, we made a decision to make the post office, which was the most direct instantiation of the federal government. We put it everywhere, even in rural towns where there was no way that made financial sense, because we wanted everyone to be connected together in this new democratic enterprise that was the United States. Shrinking the digital divide is really about federal resources. The COVID crisis makes it clear how important this is. Privacy issues are obviously important. Now as we bring this into our educational environment, what am I allowed to screenshot? Can I take pictures of students? Are those educational records? We have a federal privacy statute for student records that controls all of that. If I want to use a camera to take a screenshot, it's not as visible as it is in a classroom. And so how we bring the right privacy values to this new environment is something we're going to work out. Law evolves in conjunction with social evolution. As technology evolves and how we're using technology evolves, law comes around along with it. I think we need to be careful with regard to this technology. I think there will be a temptation to think we can swap in technology for the in-person experience that shows up in a classroom. And I think that would be wrong. I'm staring into a camera right now. To the idea that we could put this camera in the front of the classroom and we've delivered an education, a rigorous education, an education where you test and consider ideas, reject some, accept others. I think it would be a mistake to think we can simply swap one in and swap out the other. We need to augment, not replace. 5 years from now, we'll be beyond the medical crisis, beyond the economic crisis, and we'll be able to take this technology in this period of experimentation, and we will have figured out really how to put it to use. I think that means that we will be shrinking distances. We will be able to bring people into a classroom in an easy fashion. The country, the world runs on ideas. We need to get those ideas in as many possible ways to as many possible people. I think this technology is going to help us do that.
Great. So isn't it exciting? We are really intent to work with, we have never worked before. So when I'm actually studying and seeing some kind of analysis, I really find this exciting. This professor worked from the University of Chicago. So even though I am actually talking about Germany, I would like to showcase, because he's not talking about the country, he's talking about the perspective of the activities. Great. So I would like to conclude with this point, and also if you have any questions or something, of course, you absolutely do not hesitate to reach me, or of course you can reach Access Global Automation, so we can together can answer you. Of course, I am open to the discussion on your behalf. Definitely potential growth together. One thing, that change is only the constant in our life.
Yeah.
We should accept that.
Yeah, definitely. So changes will be is a permanent one actually. So we need to accept the change always. Okay. So wonderful session. Thank you, Mr. Raj. So great, mind-blowing session actually. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Mr. Raj. It's a very inspiration thing. So just as a single question, it will change the lot of people's life actually. So
Yes.
you are such an inspirational person. I really we are associated. I'm very happy about that actually.
My pleasure. So you are also because we are also colleagues in the
Okay.
project. So I'm very happy
Yes.
to work with you.
Yes, actually. So, no, I think this today's session is very fantastic session. I think. Thanks, Mr. Raj, for your such an inspiring session.
Oh,
You
my
have
pleasure.
already.
Useful. Certainly, some points are useful to the participants. I
Yes.
will be happy.
Yeah, definitely, Mr. Raj. You have already a lot in the developing stronger tie-up between the academic and industrial landscape of India and Germany. So we are certain that your effort to equip our nation with 21st century skills will go a long way in the economic growth and the
Thank you.
progress of our country also. So we thank you again for the taking the time to address our audience and our students and industrial people to answering their question. Definitely, it will be helpful for every individuals. I thank once again to everyone to participate in this particular Why Not Series 6 actually. I thank you, Mr. Raj, once again. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
I really enjoyed talking today. So yeah, I think I should often give more webinars. Then I can interact with more number of youngsters.
Sure,
So
sure, sure.
it actually it give an opportunity for me to forget I am getting old. Okay. Thank you
No,
once
no.
again, and have a great evening and enjoy your weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, great, great. Have a enjoy your weekend, Mr. Raj. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Okay. Bye. Bye, one and all. Bye.
Bye. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
The video, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for latest video updates.